Hi, this is a recording to help you be better do algebra word problems. Specifically this problem that we're going to work on. But here, I'm going to stop my screen. All right, so word problems change from elementary school to algebra when you have algebra word problems. In elementary school, the process is kind of, you're supposed to see, the light bulb is supposed to come on right away, and you're supposed to know exactly what to do and what the answer is and how to figure it out. Add these two numbers together, that's the end or whatever. Algebra word problems are not, you're not meant to be able to figure out what you need to add these two numbers together, do that sort of thing. You're not necessarily supposed to figure out what you need to do. What you're supposed to do in an algebra word problem is you're supposed to focus on writing an algebra expression from what is written in the word problem. Okay, because we are going to use the algebra expression to do all that hard thinking for our, do we need to add these two numbers together? Do we divide this? Do we need to multiply that? That hard thinking, that is going to be done by the algebra for us, so that we don't have to use very much hard brain power. Okay, so if we can just focus on, I need to write an algebra expression. It says 3 times a number. What does that look like? And if we write those out and we focus on that step, then all we have to do is solve the equation that results, and then we get the answer. Okay? All right, so we need to switch that mindset that we have, that we're just going to be able to see, add these two numbers together and that's the end. That's not how these problems are going to work. Okay. All right, let's get focused. Let's see a problem. One angle has a measure that is 3 times as large as the smallest angle. The measure of the third angle is 35 degrees more than the smallest angle. Find the measure of the largest angle. And so a lot of students right now, this one's 3 times larger than this one. That means I need to do 1/3. I need to do that. They're trying to do all this in their head. That's not what we want you to do. And we're trying to teach you new steps and new tricks so that you don't have to do that. So life is not about figuring out hard problems. It's about simplifying hard problems so that they're easy to do. All right. And learning new tricks, in along the way. So what math expressions, or what can I write down in a math expression from what I just saw, right? That's my focus right now. One angle in a triangle has a measure that is 3 times. Oh, 3 times. I know that what that is, 3x, right? Okay, one angle has a measure that is 3 times as large as the smallest angle. So first of all, I'll write 3x because I know 3 times a number is 3x. But I'm also going to define what x means. I just made that up, 3x, and it is correct, 3 times the number. But what does the x represent here? And that's important for us too, that's called defining our variables. So if I write 3x, so one angle in a triangle is a measure that is 3 times. So is equals, one angle in a triangle has a measure that is equal to 3 times the smallest angle. So that means we can say, hey, the largest angle, and maybe if we want, we could set another variable for y is the largest angle and x is the smallest angle, right? And we get to define those variables. And we say, let y be the smallest angle or the largest angle. and let X be the smallest angle. Okay, and if you're like, well, how is that leading to the answer? When we're doing algebra problems, we don't see necessarily the next step. We just write down algebra expressions, and then once we write it all out, maybe we'll see the next step from there, at that point. Okay, so I read, and what I'm doing is I'm reading each sentence, and I'm trying to translate it into a mathematical expression or equation. Okay, then next, the measure of the third angle is 35 degrees more than that of the smallest angle. So, okay, there's a third angle. And it's 35 more than the smallest angle. So the smallest angle was X. So this third angle, so maybe we can just say, we'll let it be Z. Z is equal to X plus 35, right? 35 degrees more than, it means you take that value and you add 35 to it. If you're 35 more than the small one, you take the small one, you add 35 to get to this third angle, okay? So I'll let Z be the third angle. And so we could line up all these angles now. The smallest, it's X. The medium, or the third angle we're calling, I'm assuming it's the medium, but just say the third angle. Because they already said the other angle they're describing as the smallest, so I'm assuming there's the medium. I might be wrong, but okay, so this is the largest. I'm gonna write, and I think I'm probably right about this, but this is probably the medium. So you have your second or your third angle, what they're calling the third angle. I'll just write it as they have it. The largest is, we have an expression for the largest, it's 3x, and we have a expression for the third angle, being consistent with their language, x plus 35. Okay, and they said find the measure of the largest angle. Now this actually, now I have some expressions for each of these angles. Now I have to start thinking about what equation do I know that tells me about the angles of a triangle. Do I know what they add to? Do I know what they subtract to? Do I know what they multiply to? And I think about all the equations that we learned in geometry and prior math classes. And one that we learned is that the angles in a triangle add to 180. So that is that the smallest angle plus the largest angle plus the third angle all should add to 180. So now I just can, that is my equation. That is my equation there. And a lot of times if you just focus on writing down expressions for each of the things they're talking about in the problem, like they're talking about a smallest, a largest, and a third angle, I wrote down expressions and I tried my best to write those expressions in just one variable, x. And then I thought about what equations I knew that related them, and I wrote down the equation, and now I have an equation I can solve for x. So I have x, I have 2 x's here plus 3 x's, I have 5 x's plus 35. I subtract this, 7, 10, 5, 4, I have 145, it looks like, is equal to 5x, okay? And then now I divide by 5 on both sides. And x equals, let's do the long division really fast. Okay, I have my calculator right here in front of me, so looks like 29. X equals 29. Okay. Now don't jump and put this answer in as your answer yet. A lot of these math algebra problems, we can write an equation, we can write algebraic expressions down, we can write our equation down, we can solve that equation, but we have to ask ourselves what we solved for, and is that what they really asked for? Because a lot of these questions are very tricky. They know how we would have solved this. They know we would have come up with an answer that's slightly not what they're asking for, and that's how they catch people and they get P. Now, because their x, look at how I defined it. X is the smallest angle, and they're asking for the largest angle here, right? So what we need to do is we need to notice that the largest angle was 3 times the smallest angle. So we have to do 29, because right, the largest angle we set up there, the equation we said it's 3x. So I plug in the 29 for x. Okay, so 3 times 30 would have been 90, and then take away 3 would be 87. So I believe we can double check it. 29 times 3, 27, and 6, 87. Yep, there we go. 87. So 87 should be our answer here. So the more you do these problems, the more you get used to it, but like you really want to, especially when they're talking like about 3 different things in problems like this, like, you know, a large angle, a small angle, a big angle, or a medium angle. You want to make up an algebraic expression for each one of those angles. In terms means only in as described by the x angle, by the smallest angle, right? I didn't say the third angle, it's 7 less than the third angle. No, I described everything in terms of the smallest angle. Okay, that's something important that you want to make sure that you want to do. I didn't end up using the x, y, and z. I ended up just writing the word smallest, like largest, and third. All right, well, I hope that you found this very valuable, and I hope that doing more and more and more and more and seeing more and more examples really, it does help. All right, email me if you have questions. Bye.